So, Castro Podcast has released this MCP. I'm just going to walk you through how to get something useful out of it. Something that comes up a lot is you have these different podcast players, you want to switch between them, but you have your library of shows, you lose which ones are played. So let's say you've been using Overcast and you just want to go over to Castro, but you want to bring everything. You want to bring your history, all that stuff. MCP is something this can help with. So, first we're going to open Safari. And we're going to download this OPML file. They have a great data export. They offer all this data. They say no apps currently import this, but we're going to import it. So you download this file. I'm going to show you this file real quick. It's just XML. You have a little played state here. Subscribed. It's got the enclosure. It's when the user interacted with it. It's the user deleted it. And what we want to do is, with this file is we're going to make a new folder, Castro MCP here. We're going to move our download into that. We're going to move the OPML file over to that. We're going to open that up. And we're just going to get a terminal here. We're using Quad Code for this, but you can use other LLMs. I'm sure Quad Desktop would probably make it a little bit easier. We're going to go here, and then we're going to go to Cat. So if you hadn't already added the MCP, it's just like this. HTTP, called Castro, and then the URL is pretty easy to remember. Castro FM MCP. Gonna add it like that. And then we're gonna open this up. And if we just want to test whether it's working or not, we can get the iTunes ID of a podcast and just be like, and make sure that this is all working. Get something useful here. Yeah, so that works. So we're getting Castro data into our MCP. So the next thing we want to do is make a Castro backup from Overcast OPML. This is going to take some time. If you have a big library, if you've been doing this for years, there are rate limits on Castro. There may be rate limits on other services that it needs to look up. It might take a while. We're just going to live dangerously, do auto mode here. So just let it work this out. So after all this is done, you can kind of read through. It'll give you a bunch of details if you want them. You can ask it some questions. But we're just going to open this up. We're going to check out this. We're going to check out the backup file. Looks good. Castro backups are just JSON. In the past, these public IDs have been really inscrutable, hard for people to understand, what they mean. But this is part of what the MCP is solving, is making that explicable to you. Yeah, so this backup looks good to me. So now we're just going to move this over to iCloud, and we're going to pull it up on our phone. So after we have this in our iCloud drive, we're just going to switch over to our iPhone. We're going to open up the Files app, and we're just going to take this backup we just made, move it right to Castro, and go through this restore process. It's only going to take a minute or two. It's a pretty small backup. Obviously, if you have more stuff, it's going to take a little longer. But that's going to complete. And we should probably be able to skip the onboarding here. But if you look at your queue, you're going to see these 4 items, same as what you saw in Overcast. The inbox is a little bit of a special case. Overcast doesn't have an exact parallel, but if you do something like create a playlist in Overcast and you tell the LLM that you want this to be in your inbox, you can actually make this work a little bit better depending on how you do it. But yeah, we're going to see all of our podcasts. We're going to see all of our history. And if you start an episode, you're going to see that. And yeah, your whole library is here. If you see all these acquired episodes that are put. So that's one useful thing you can do. A couple caveats. Like I said, the inbox doesn't translate perfectly. So there's that issue. And people are going to ask, can you go back? The answer is I don't really know. I assume the way that we have the Overcast IDs and the Castro IDs working, it's going to work pretty well. If Overcast has published some specs on how they do backups or imports, it might be a little bit easier, but I bet we can make that work with effort on either side. Yeah, so that's the Castro MCP. That's one useful thing you can do with it. And I'm sure there's a lot more you can do with it. So let me know if you do something cool.